maintaining the data is very difficult. So how it was, there in the earlier days before cloud. So people in, data is divided into different segments. People store and curate the data. Okay, storing, we do have a different mechanism, like file in, people will store the data in the form of files, databases, all these things, correct? And what to do with that data? People who analyze the data for to take the decision, business decision data, okay, decisions, business decision to grow the business value day to day. They do analyze the data, and then accordingly they will take the decisions. So for that, they have to do the data in the multiple platform from the multiple sources. Okay, people say, who secure the data? So at the time, data, maintaining the data, not only one. We have to provide the the security, correct? So otherwise, nowadays, if you don't have any security, then it will be a big loss for us. Okay, so people who secure the data, so they have their own mechanism. Different, people have their own security. Okay, and then people who want to share the data. Say example, if I want to share the data, we have to send over the email, okay, or attachments or CDs kind of and FTP. Those things are there. So their own mechanism, they have their own mechanism to share. And even though it is not secure way, and also we cannot, there are some restrictions, like if you want to share the data over the email, so you may need you cannot send the as much data as you want, big file sizes. Okay, and sharing the over the FTP also, you may need infrastructure to do that one, correct? So that is the one thing. And people who have to get the new data. So if you want to get the new data, you want to onboard your data and new data from the multiple source systems, it will be very hard to do, okay, to get the new data. And the people who need new data immediately, and also getting the new data, yes, we may get the new data over the period of time, but immediately I need, because if you get the new data, assume that takes 1 week. Okay, by that time you do your analysis and all these things. So whatever that during this period, you may see huge loss. So how do you overcome that kind of thing also? Okay, and people who want to upgrade the data platform. So if you want to migrate the data from one platform to another platform, you have data divided into multiple platforms, then it will be very difficult and cost based, correct? And you need to, that's why other point is the people who pay for the data platform. So you have to pay by, if you have multiple platforms, then you have to pay for each and everything. So altogether it will be very costly also. So overall, these are the people who are using the data in the different way. So our aim, to overcome these issues. Okay, so is this explanation is sufficient, Ravi?
Yes, Venkatesh.
Yeah. Okay. If you have any doubts, just stop me and then you ask me, so that even I am also learning, so that we can share our knowledge between us.
Yes. Yeah, it's good enough.
So okay, why do you data? Why do you need data? People, people needs data because people have their own goals. Okay, so they have to maintain the development team have their set of development environments. Okay, and team needs standards that they can develop once and deploy anywhere. Okay, the development team like that. And we do have different teams like data science team, data development team, management team. I want my staff to focus on creating solutions, not patching, backup. See, management team should not spend on the patching, backup, or recovery, something. They want just create the solutions for their management. So how business should increase, how to reduce the cost. Okay, and line of businesses, each organization's marketing, while doing the market, they have their own line of business, so that marketplace. So if you want to do your marketizing your data, you should have your own concrete solution where you, without any much hurdles, you can share, you can do your marketing. Okay, and also if you have multiple teams like BI team, so BI team should able to get the data easily, quickly. So collaborate between the information, like sharing the information. Okay, and rapidly test and identify the issues in the my apps more effectively. So QA team have the data immediately. Say, I mean, build in olden days. I mean, the deployment process is very. It was, I mean, time-consuming process. Nowadays, if CI/CD, okay, is one of the solution. Okay, these are the, I mean, goals. Required goals. People who are looking for as an organization. These are the things required. Okay, this slide talks about this one. How we are going to achieve by using the Snowflake, ideally Snowflake or data platform. Okay, so because data is huge. I mean, nowadays data is generating from the multiple things like social media. Apart from that, common uh, database. Apart from database, social media, IoT, Internet of Things. These are the few things, okay, generating the data, the structured data. And we do have a different other than unstructured data is there. And expensive upfront database. Say example, if you want to store the data in the traditional databases, then you may need to pay the upfront. Like if you want to take the license from the Oracle, then it is a upfront you have to cost, and then after the 1 month you don't want, then you don't get that money. So moreover, you have to have money to get that database, provision database. And also, if I mean you have a multiple users, and you take the some minimum uh, in configuration level database, and one day if you have a more resource, I mean users, then you may get the concurrency issues, I mean performance issues. Okay, and to upgrade, and you have to put a lot of efforts to do that one. And also there is, I mean, security, okay, challenges, unsecure and challenging methods of sharing data. So you want to share the data to your suppliers, or you want to share your data to within your team, or within your organizations from the other teams. So if you want to share, then you have to generate the files, or you want to send over the email. These are all the challenges, okay, currently. And we need the to work on the database. So we need the different skills needed for the different tools, like to take the backup, we need to hire the admin. To do the data engineering, we need the developers. Okay, like that we need many skilled persons. And also maintenance. Say example, if we need to patch, okay, and we need to upgrade our infrastructure based on the OS level and database level and the security level patches, all these things we need to do. So these are the challenges. I mean, day by day, it's very difficult to maintain any organization, all these things. Okay. Now, as I told you that, so altogether we have a data, applications and people. These are the three things we interconnect to each one. Okay. So to interconnect this one, cloud is the perfect canvas to make those connections. So to establish the connection between all these three, so cloud is the ideal solution. Okay. So that's where, I mean, cloud came into the picture. Okay, we can connect all these through cloud. So far clear?
Yes, Krishna.
Yes, Uncle.
Now cloud, okay, cloud computing and types. Okay, so basically cloud computing, I mean, cloud is, I mean, infrastructure where providing the services over the internet. Okay, you can, I mean, attach your all devices and you can connect to the cloud. Okay, that is, I mean, basically it is a on-demand service. Okay, over the internet. That's all, I mean, cloud computing briefly. So how this cloud computing, we do have a different cloud types, like private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud. I don't want to I mean get into what is the, because you are aware of that. Okay, this you can connect the mobile storage, server, applications, database from the cloud computing. Okay, these are the three cloud service types. Okay, and let me go to next slide. Okay, and each cloud service, cloud, we do have a different service models, cloud services. Okay, so one is the IaaS, okay, infrastructure as a service, and another one is the platform as a service, software as a service. We do have some another services like serverless service is also is there, serverless service. Okay. Let me explain. I mean, because we are going to use the one of the, Snowflake falls into the one of the service, so that it would be better to have some little bit knowledge on this. Okay, each service. So IaaS service is nothing but infrastructure as a service. So, you assume that AWS or Azure. Now I'm talking about Azure. Even okay, so you want to provision the infrastructure, like you don't want to any softwares. Okay, your focus is you just want to provision the infrastructure as a VM, virtual machine. So in that case, what you have to do, you just provision the virtual machine, and then within virtual machine, it is your responsibility to install the required softwares and patches, all these things. Okay, so what this cloud service cloud provides, only it will provides the infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure is nothing but one virtual machine. So within virtual machine, what would you want? It's up to you. So say example, if you want to install any database, okay, any ETL tool, so you have to get your own license and then install those into the VM. That is called the infrastructure as a service. When it comes to the Azure, when it comes to the AWS, we do have a EC machine. Okay, Elastic, I think cloud machines. Okay, ECC too. Okay, that is the where we can provision the VMs. Okay, and PaaS, platform as a service. Now here in IaaS, we do have some responsibilities. We have to take care of these patching, all these things. If you take as a platform as a service, then you no need to do all these things. Okay, say example, I have a one database in Azure, so SQL database, where I no need to buy the separate license. Okay, I will subscribe as a platform as a service. My subscription type as a platform as a service. So what I'm going to provision, so everything will take care of by them only. So we no need to do anything. Okay. Now let's jump into the SaaS, software as a service. Now I have a software, but I don't have any cloud. So this cloud, Azure is the cloud. Okay, and you have a Snowflake is the one of the software, and some other even Informatica is now supporting the cloud. Many other tools are supporting the cloud. So now I want to provision that software any one of the from the cloud. So we can go with the SaaS model. So that comes into the SaaS model. Okay, clear? So basic difference. If you have any apart from that, this you can just let me know. Clear?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, who are the cloud service providers? Majorly, if you see, we have Amazon Web Services, Cloud, Google Cloud Platform, Salesforce, Oracle, Azure, Liquid Web, VMware, Alibaba Cloud. But majorly, we'll talk about you might aware about Salesforce. Salesforce having their own cloud environment, CRM, Salesforce CRM, correct? So within that, they are using the PostgreSQL database for them. So that is the Salesforce, and Amazon Web Service and Google Cloud Platform and Azure, they have their own. And recently, 2 years back, Oracle also started their own cloud service and cloud databases also. We will talk about these are the main cloud service providers. Okay. Now comes to Snowflake. So whatever we have discussed so far, the challenges or problems, whatever we are going to achieve by using the Snowflake. Okay, Snowflake is built for the only cloud. Okay, say example, if you talk about SQL Server database or Oracle database, some other database, we can install on premises, or else we can install in public cloud, private cloud, anywhere else. Okay, I'm talking about a few existing database, but this is the Snowflake only built for the cloud. That too only public cloud. You cannot provision this Snowflake in the on premises or public private cloud or hybrid cloud. Only public. Okay, so by doing this Snowflake solution, okay, this I mean Snowflake is only built for the cloud. It's a unique architecture. I mean, it is not developed based on the existing architecture or existing big data software. It is developed by from the scratch. Okay, so what I mean, how can you say it is a unique architecture? Okay, Snowflake solution. So if you see here, I mean, all data centralized and shareable. So you no need to create multiple data platforms. Whatever you want, you can maintain only one single, single copy. Okay, all data, structure and semi-structure, and going forward, okay, Snowflake announced that semi-structure, I mean unstructured data also. I mean, unstructured means you can store the files itself, binary files, normal files also. You can read the files. Currently, we don't have. That is in under private review. So later, I mean next quarter, probably Q1, it will be available for the public. Okay, so you can single source of truth and securely share the live data with the partners. So you do have your partners like within the organization or outside organization. So if you want to, even within organization in the traditional approach, how do you share the data? We have to generate the data from CSV files and then share or FTP them into the downstream systems. That is, but with the Snowflake, you no need to just generate the files. You just give the access to them. They will access the data and then they will ingest the data into their own database. Okay, within the Snowflake itself. Or else, if they want, they can also generate the files and then they will ingest into their other databases. Okay, so that is where securely you need to do the SFTP. Okay, and over the email. That is the all centralized and shareable. And another, unlimited automatic scale and speed. So if you see, there is no, I mean, Snowflake provides the segregation of storage and compute separately. If I am going to talk about that one architecture, I mean layers. How many layers? We do have 3 layers in Snowflake, 3 layers. So storage, compute, and another layer is there. Okay, metadata processing layer. Okay, processing is nothing but a compute. Metadata is the another one. So these, I mean, separation, storage and compute will be separate. When you compare with Oracle, we do have everything in the single. Okay, so that if you want to increase your, then it will be very difficult. But over here, when you no need to bother about that one. All workloads get proper and isolated resources. So based on that, if you have a development team, production team, and testing team, so we can separate the resources to individually. Okay, and by that, so that you can handle the spikes. Say example, every day morning 10 to 12 is the peak time, so that you can scale up that time, and then after that you can scale down our resources, so that we can reduce the cost. Whereas in on-premises, either we have to use the entire or nothing. So you don't have the option to reduce on demand. Okay, and a simple cost-effective infrastructure. So you no need to buy the hardware and time. I mean, no need to spend much time. And maintenance is in Snowflake. Maintenance, there is no need to maintain. You just provision the Snowflake database. After that, you no need to do anything. I mean, in terms of tuning, in terms of patching, in terms of whatever it may, maintenance, taking the backups, all these things you no need to do. Okay, and also pay as you use. So suppose you want to use the development, during the development you want to use the 8 hours, and then nobody is working, assume that, then you can just automatically, it will stop, like how you are using your mobile, same way your billing also will be like that, so that the cost will be very less, or you can reduce, even though cost is less, even how do you, within that, how do you reduce your cost? That is the way. And completely SQL support. So ANSI and SQL support. This Snowflake, I mean SQL support. Okay, structure query language. So that I think many people are comfortable with the SQL, so that it will be easy to migrate to Snowflake. You no need to spend much, your efforts to learn the Snowflake. And performance, if you see the faster, better decision making, because unlimited queries and users, I mean, if you see in Oracle database, we based on the RAM and how you are going to create your database size and HGA size. So HGA is nothing but how much memory is going to allocate from your RAM while creating the database. So based on that, there is a limit to users, maximum 1,000 users at a time connect, or 2,000 based on that. But here it is not like that. There is no limit. Okay, if you see there is users are seeing that difficulties, query performance, then immediately you can scale up cluster. You can increase your cluster size. Okay, within so whoever coming the new users, so they don't get in trouble. Okay, that is that one. And optimize the revenue and cost, because you know decisions you can take. New data will get immediately. You can get the data immediately, ingest the new data from the different source systems into Snowflake immediately without near or zero real time. Okay, near real time. Okay, immediately. There is no latency. Very less latency, maybe seconds or minutes or hours based on the your application demands. So that's why you can take if something goes wrong, immediately you can take the decisions. So that is the why Snowflake solution unique architecture built for the cloud. So are you clear? If you have any doubts, you raise here.
Yes, Krishna.
Clear, Danti, what about you?
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah? It's clear. It's clear.
Now, okay, let's come to the Snowflake architecture. Okay, so if you see this diagram, VPC virtual private cloud. Okay, so as I said, that Snowflake will supports the majorly three clouds as of now. So one is the Azure, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud. And within these, few features may not available. Few features may available based on the this cloud service. Okay, that we will get into later. Now within that, if you see the architecture, we do have 3 layers. As I said, that 3 layers. Okay, and if you see 3 layers, one is the cloud service, another one is the query processing, a third one is the data storage. So these are 3 are independently. There is no dependent on this. Okay, storage is separate. Say example, today you have a 1 TB terabyte storage, and tomorrow you want to go to the 2 TB terabytes. So you no need to depending on the other 2 services layers. You directly you can procure how much you want. You can. So that is the storage layer. Okay, so the storage layer based on the your service cloud service provider. Okay, and then internal also Snowflake, they have their own internal storage. Okay, so that is also is there. Now query processing is nothing but your virtual warehouse. When you compare with the traditional data warehouse, either SQL Server or Oracle database, HGA RAM, the amount of RAM from your computer. Okay, so that is the query processing. You can create your virtual warehouses, n number of virtual warehouses in your database or your account, Snowflake account. There is no limit. Okay, and also we do have a different types of sizes. Like T-shirt, we have a small, X small, medium, extra large, large, extra large, XXS. Like that, we do have a different sizes. So when we, I will explain. Practically. Okay, I will show you how to create this virtual warehouse. Okay. Anyhow, storage we no need to. Just we need to. If you are using the S3 bucket, Amazon, then we have a S3. We don't have any limit. Okay. And cloud service is nothing but to maintain this one. So metadata, security, optimization, infrastructure, access controls, authentication, all these things under one layer. Say example, metadata, when you see in metadata, Oracle or SQL Server, metadata is nothing but a data dictionary. So all underscore tables, DB underscore tables, okay, all underscore views kind of thing. So all underscore users, like that information. If you have created 100 tables, now I want to see all the 100 tables list. Okay, those in okay, we by using the cloud service. Okay, and as I mentioned that there is one more service like serverless. Okay, serverless service. So here virtual warehouse is our service we can create. So without virtual warehouse, we can execute few things. We can perform the few tasks serverless. Like if you take the can I say AWS, there is a Lambda functions are there, serverless function. In the same way, similar way, cloud also providing the serverless services. Okay, are you clear on this Snowflake architecture? Simple, only 3 layers: cloud services, query processing, data storage. Data storage and each and every are in. I mean, it's not independently. There is no separation. 3 are working as a separation, but cloud services in the, I mean, coordinate with the query process and database storage. But you can create as many as virtual warehouses to do query processing. If you have a more workload particular time, then you can create more virtual warehouse with different sizes. Okay, clear?
Yes, Nagan.
Yes.
This is very important. Okay, and then as this is I think same previous slide. Okay, yeah. So how can I say? I mean, this is the single source of truth, correct? So complete SQL data, minimal management. Yeah, already I explained all of our data, all of your users. I mean, all. I mean, how many users you want, you can create all users. Like different types of data science team. Okay, all these data science, data engineer. Okay, analyst teams. All we can access data from the Snowflake. Okay, live data sharing. We can share the data. Okay, from the one database to multiple within organization, without organization. I mean, outside organization. Only pay only for what you use. Okay, this is it. And as I said, that SQL based. How SQL data warehouse. Okay, note that I mean we don't use this for transaction purpose. Okay, OLTP. It's not. I mean, it will not support for the OLTP. You can, but performance is very bad. So if you have a use data, I mean terabytes. We will talk about the terabytes of data. And GBs, of course, GBs and terabytes. Okay, more than, I mean, one table we can have a 150 plus terabyte data. So if you want to retrieve that data from 150 TB terabyte table, I mean, in GBs only on premises is hanging. But you see, and from the cloud, Snowflake will support more than 150 terabyte data database, not only database, data table itself. Okay. Complete SQL database. Okay, standard SQL. It will support the full DML operations like read, write, and analytical SQL. If you see current, I mean, whatever that SQLs, maybe syntax might be, functions or clauses might be different, but overall, ANSI SQL will support full support. Okay, and also it will support for the all BI and ETL tools. Also, you can read the data from the Snowflake, and you can send the data to the PA directly. I mean, you can say if you have a ETL tools called, Informatica, you can connect to Snowflake and then get the data. You have a Power Builder tool, Power BI reporting tool. You can connect from the Power BI to the Snowflake, and you can generate your dashboard. Okay, KPIs, dashboards or KPIs. Okay, availability. So automatic data replication, online recovery, high availability, and geo redundancy. So this is where you can replicate your data, take the backups. Okay, because Snowflake provides the cross regions and cross platforms also. Like you create your Snowflake provision on the Azure, and you take your backups on the AWS also. Something goes happen to your Azure service, then you can, worst case I'm telling that, you can get your backup data from you can switch, or you can get the data from Azure, AWS also. Okay, and these are the security, how this provide the PCI DSS, HIPAA. These are the some protocols where providing security. So you should where Snowflake warehouse following adhere to this security. Okay, encryptions. Automatic encryption is there. The moment when you upload your data into the Snowflake, so internally, file, all encrypted data, default encrypted. The moment when you upload the data into, internal storage or storage, ultimately, data will be stored into the either S3 packet or Azure Blob storage. That data will be in encryption format only. Okay, clear? So these are the few authentication, how they provide the authentication. Multi-factor authentication is there, and federated authentication available. Multi-factor authentication in that, when you log into your Azure account, okay, Azure account, you can enable your OTP, you will get the mobile related, okay. And federated authentication means SSO, you can integrate the SSO, There are some SMAL is there. So there are SSO like that. We can single sign-on. We can implement it. Okay. The Snowflake supports that one. Access controls also support. I mean, roles and users, role-based access control, and you can give the privileges to particular role and particular user, and you can assign that roles to particular user. Say analyst role always, I mean, read data. You cannot, I mean, having the right data. Okay. You just analyze the data and developers cannot have the access to the read access to the write access from the production data. So like that we can have the access. Snowflake provides the supports the access control. And as I told you, that data encryption and external validations also, like PCI and IFPA. These are the, I mean, I suppose if you have any project, banking project, we should have some, we should follow some rules as per the guidelines of RBI in India. Like that overall, it will take care of all these kind of validations. Okay, clear? So yeah, as I said that, I mean, Snowflake supports the all, I mean, structure, semi-structure, and text. Okay, and also unstructured data also coming feature within 6 months it will come. Okay, apart from this, okay, here unstructured files also you can read the files directly. Now, I mean, JSON, these are comes into the semi-structure. Okay, structure means, I mean, tables, so you can read the okay. CSV files. I mean, why I'm telling is already CSV and text is the structure only. I mean, structure means comma separated. But I'm talking about the files, binary files or normal files. If you want to store your resume, suppose you want to store your resume into one of the table in some column. So now currently you cannot read that file. Okay. So that feature also is coming soon. That is under private review. So later on it will become in the public availability. Okay. So as I said, that cloud service provide the, I mean, single source of truth. So if you have a ETL team or data engineering team or data science, analytics, BA teams, and data analysts, all people can connect to the Snowflake, and then they do their regular work. Okay, without any problems. That is all together. And this is the, I mean, I don't want to explain about, how that pay as only pay you whatever you use. Okay, that's all. So example, here is this much used and here very less, so that here your billing is very less. Here again it went, so billing maybe accordingly that billing will be generated like that. Okay, this now this is also, I mean, I said that okay, sharing the data, so no need to do any. Okay, here we have a suppose internal no issue, but external I want to share the data to external suppliers. Suppose we have some suppliers, material suppliers, whatever that. Okay, they want to access our data. We want to share our data to them, so that no need to send any data. So we can create one account for them. Okay, and we can share the database, not entire database. We can share the only few table, I mean, few required for them. Whatever the data required for them, only will give the read-only access, and also they cannot see any code. Okay, any code. Just they know table name or view name or security, whatever that select star from table. Just they will see the data. Even they don't, I think they don't know about the size and all these things. What type of data? Okay, and also we can do the data masking also. That is internal. Okay. This is the all about data sharing. So data sharing, I think now, I mean, so far it's not being used, but going forward, okay, it is very plays very big role. And also we have one more feature I didn't mention in the slide, data exchange. Data exchange means you can monetize your data. You have, I mean, suppose you have a data where you can sell the data to outside the organization. So okay, that data I'm not, I mean, sure what type of data can sell each company. That is they knows. So say example, I have some customers and I am able, I mean, I have a right to sell the mobile numbers to some kind of marketing agencies. Okay, if I don't have any objections from my customers, then I can sell that data by using the Snowflake itself.